Hey, do you know how easy it is to actually steam your own local oysters? Hey y'all, my name is Julia Kiser Pratt and this is my dad Steve Kiser, and we are with Kiser Real Estate in downtown Bluffton, and today we're going to show you just how easy it is to steam your own oysters.
So the May River is all around us, and it has ebbs and flows on a daily basis with two lows and two highs. For those of you who do not know that range in tide variance from 2 feet, minus 1 foot sometimes, and as much as 10 feet on the high tide, depending on the moon cycle and the wind direction. But today we're here to talk about oysters, among other things, and the oysters that we're going to talk about and show you how to steam today come from this river, and they are a natural treasure, and they have been harvested for centuries and centuries, long before probably the invention of gunpowder and bows and arrows. People have been taking oysters from the May River. Below me is a steamer connected to a propane tank, adjacent the oysters and the oyster baskets, which will go into the steamer. These are May River oysters. They're famous. If you haven't had them, get ready for a real treat. And I'm going to start by turning on the gas. And we're going to put this lid back on. And while it's getting hot, we're going to show you how to get the oysters ready. This doesn't weigh very much, so you take part of the oysters bag and you just pour them in one of these baskets. Save as many as you want in the bag. You can always come back. Now, if you want to look at this, they're beautiful, almost select oysters. They're giant size and they're just delectable. But in a minute, we're going to rinse these off and help rinse off some of the residual mud that came from the river. I'm going to drop that. This is cool. Remember, it will be hot in a moment. Place that basket down inside the steamer, cover it, and voila. It'll be ready in just a moment. Okay, now we need to talk about preparations before the oysters are steamed and ready to eat. Oysters are kind of a standalone food item. You can enhance them, you can eat them raw, steamed. But today what we're going to do is really quickly just make a quick homemade sauce with some tomato ketchup and some fresh squeezed lemon. How you like that too? Lots of lemon. You gotta have Texas Pete. If you don't have Texas Pete, try your favorite hot sauce. Ooh, that's gonna be good. And then we'll put a little salt and pepper. We are moving right through the sauce making process.
Horseradish.
And we'll do some horseradish. You can buy this sauce. You can melt butter. You can do any kind of thing. This is horseradish now. We're not gonna make a big batch, but it's gonna be a little potent. And you take this and you just simply swirl it together like that. As we are eating the oysters, you'll see paper products, paper plates. We're going to have a small cart that we're going to throw our empty oyster shells into that cart, so that when we're finished and we've cleaned up, we can take the half-empty shells, all the empty shells, and return them to the oyster beds at the end of our dock, so that they will naturally regenerate. And by doing that, they regenerate at a much faster rate than the oyster having to grow 2 new shells or 1 new shell. Is a lot better process, and that's why we return the shells to the oyster beds. So right now we're going to go and check the oysters. Let's do it. Always pick up this basket and let it drain. You can see it's perforated. And by the way, you can get one of these baskets in a couple of different places, and we've got sources for them. If you want to give us a ring, we'll let you tell you exactly where you can get one of these. It's already made. They're very affordable. We've got 2 of them, and we use multiple baskets. And this will hold about a half bushel at a time, and I've got about a quarter of a bushel in here at this time. May River oysters. Now we're going to go over here and put them on the table. And we are now going to show you how to take advantage of what's inside the oyster. So let's get an oyster knife, each of us. And if you want to, you can pick them up with your ungloved hand. Take a look at this. This is the hinge on this side of the oyster, usually on the fat side. If you put this oyster knife right on the hinge and pop it open, it will come apart, just like that. And if you want to see a pretty oyster that's been steamed and it's hot and ready to eat,
Yum.
look at those. So let's take a minute and take one of these out. And you can take your knife, clean it on the cloth, cut the oyster out just like that. Dip it in the sauce.
Or not.
Or not. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good oyster for the May River process that we've been talking about. You can do this as easily as pie. It's not a problem. It's easy. Cleanup is quick. It entertains people. It's a wonderful thing to do because not everybody does it. Now, all we wanted to do today was introduce you to the simplest process of harvesting some things out of the May River that you can do yourself. The oyster beds are either private or public, and access to the public oyster beds requires you have some knowledge about where they are. You can actually get in your boat and go and harvest those in the public beds, or you can do what we did. We actually bought these from a local oyster factory that's located here in Old Town Bluffton. But there are a lot of oysters here, so come on over and join us anytime. But today, we're glad that you were able to join us and see what we do here on the May River in Bluffton, South Carolina.